Well, since this is a cost accounting class, we're going to need some information about costs. And again, this will be information that you would want to, you'd have to be accumulating or being given these reports. Um, but so here we're going to need to determine the total costs for each um, manufacturing. So basically for direct materials and conversion costs. So now we're going to introduce a term here that is similar to what we've seen before. So now what we're going to do is have costs to account for. And so we will just kind of following the formula, following where the direct materials and conversion costs are there above. So our costs to account for, so we're going to have our beginning work in process, and then costs incurred, or well, just since it's costs already incurred during the current period. So again, this would be information that we would need to be given in terms of doing this, and just now for this part, I'm going to, I'm going to just hit the dollar sign, and so we're going to end up having some the cents in there as well. And the reason is that as we move forward, we're going to be using this in terms of calculating the cost per equivalent unit, and that's likely to not be an even amount. So we'll say that we have 30,000 of direct materials and 33,000 of conversion costs. So the cost to account for will be the sum of each of these. And, for that matter, I'm going to drag this all the way across here. And so then we'll have a total as well, so that we are able to have a tidy amount here. So we'll total this across direct materials and conversion costs, and drag that down there. And this one's much larger because we're including the costs that were added throughout the accounting period. So these are costs to account for. So we have to account in total for 66,400. So when we get to step 5 at the end, we will explain where they've gone. So remember, we're looking at beginning inventory, starting production. Well, so we've gone through this sort of process from the physical unit standpoint. Eventually, we're going to be having to deal with completing, transfer out, and ending work in process, or for this particular account. So how do we get there? Well, this is where we have our allocation process under play. So we're in step 4. We compute cost per equivalent unit. Well, fortunately, we see that these are in the spreadsheet itself, just above us here. So for our direct materials, what we do under the weighted average approach. So, and maybe I will make this note in here. Under weighted average, use cost to account for. Use the total. So we're going to use this 31,200, divide that by the equivalent units of 2675. So this gives us $11.66 per equivalent unit. Similarly, for conversion costs, we can just drag the formula over. So I'll say per EU of direct materials, and this is per EU of conversion costs. So 1166 and 1304, these are the so this would be the approach that we would take, and so we just do that simple calculation here. Divide the total cost to account for by the equivalent units. Again, this is under weighted average. We would use that amount there.